Hey, it's 5 in the morning. The young boy better get in here. Truth, yeah. CM, yeah. Hey, you grown now. Get it.
We do missions for Christ Jesus. I won't need to rock suits, cause we can preach the gospel and our wife beat us. White sneakers, striped Adidas, like to speak the truth. The good news, the hood dudes, and to whomever's listening. Cause every listener ain't poor but thug, and everybody ain't been popped with a slug. Matter of fact, most of y'all probably grew up just like me. You ain't never put your lips to a drug. Probably grew up pretty normal, probably grew up in a warm home. You ain't never grew up strapped, having to scrap over wardrobes. And you ain't never been the type to like cornrows. Many of y'all grew up with pretty decent morals, and you were taught that all roads lead to him. That's why it sounds so crazy when we be like, yo, believe on him. Breathe again, seek and you'll find the past is repeating itself. It's like the streets of a wine. Move forward, ain't you sick of the boredom? Ain't you sick of the grind, the brick and the mortar, without surely being assured of where you going when you die? We can provide you with truth. Young dudes serving God in our youth, and it's like that.
They got questions, man, he got answers. You can trust him, man, I take chances. You can trust him now, I throw tantrums. If you trust him, rally around his anthem. Jesus, 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 Jesus.
He is no fool who gives what he can't keep, the game what he can never lose. Jim Elliot's rule, him hell never fooled. His food to do the will of him who sent him until his belly was full. That's fuel for the fire, used to inspire you to inquire about the truth, but there's a liar cooking up a plot, cooking up a pot of lies, pushing up those dollar signs. Who connects the dots on them dotted lines? I can get signed if I sign right here. Right here? Nah, I took my career and hang glided off the side of a mountain, mounted to nothing except the one that I'm trusting. I doubt one like Thomas, but clutching his promises. Hold on, what the problem is, you don't know what time it is. Hunting no shiny designer bondages while moms and kids still struggle in the hood, juggling the jobs. Papa trying to stop smuggling the goods. I could've still been the one trying to be persistent and beat the system, but the Lord led me to seek his wisdom. Was secret and hidden, but now all men can see what was written and be forgiven and get the instructions we need for living like that.
They got questions, man, he got answers. You can trust him, man, I take chances. You can trust him now, I throw tantrums. If you trust him, rally around his anthem. Jesus, 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 Jesus. Now every designer ain't a Gabbana, and every material girl ain't a Madonna. But if every design got a designer, before you start chatting on it, when it come to creation, God got a patent on it. Involuntary heartbeat, automated lungs, thoughtless eye blinks, taste buds on the tongue, body's immune system fighting things that try to damage it. Sleep, digestion, even waste management. Who gets the credit? Who takes it all? Never Big Bang, never apes, never Neanderthal. It's foolish to think it's all coincidental. I know it's touchy, I'll keep it gentle. Check it. 50, just sat in the house without thinking this is for Jah, just ran out his mouth. Ain't it buck how Timbs are made? That soul is a natural outgrowth from the suede. I know it sound crazy, but while you asleep, a whole bottle of Remy seeped in your pores and ended up in your gut. And that bling in your ice is cause little men live on the inside, and yo, they just shining they lights. If you believe this and would teach it to your sons and daughters, get a MRI done on your headquarters. This little exercise is to unanesthetize and wake up man to the glory that's forever God's. Not to wake up and quickly fall back asleep, but to wake up and follow Christ like his sheep. Cause by him and for him things were created and can't be properly questioned or debated. And it's truth to the seeker soul who can stand it and now understands why they exist on a planet like that. They got questions, man, he got answers. You can trust him, man, I take chances. You can trust him now, I throw tantrums. If you trust him, rally around his anthem.